novitiates, nuns, all coming from more of the Orthodox churches where they're more traditional. You're seeing a more increase in vocations. It's the modernism churches where they're not seeing this. My niece is a nun, and she's in the Loretto, which is a non-habit wearing nun.
Yeah.
So basically they're,
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it.
Yeah.
And she's probably, I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this, I think she's 36, 37.
Yeah.
And she is pretty much the youngest nun by at least 20 to 30 years in the whole order of the United States, because they're dying.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, you know, how the faith spread is by these missionaries, as you know. And they went, okay, here's the deal with the missionaries. They went to all those countries. If they did not get killed at the shore, you know, being, you know, killed by arrows or clubs or whatever, or machetes, if they were not killed there, right at, you know, right when they're landing off the shore of their ships, which, you know, all the explorers brought the priests, the missionaries, you know. Anyways, so they would go, they get captured by this tribe, and then they live there, and then, or become slaves or whatever, and then the chieftain notices, wait a minute, this guy, these people, these guys, they're not after our gold, because they made a vow of poverty. They're not after our treasures, right? Well, they're not after our women, because they made a vow of celibacy. They're not after my power, because they made a vow of obedience to their superior, right? And guess what these men are doing? They're teaching us how to boil our water. Therefore, our kids are not dying of, you know, they don't know the term, but they're not dying of cholera or food poisoning or whatever. And they're teaching us how to plant seeds better, and our crops are better, okay? Then they're teaching our children to be kind. You know, they don't fight. They're teaching us not to go and kill the members of the other tribe. They're teaching us to be kind, etc. So they're going, they have something that we don't have. They're teaching us about the stars. They're teaching us about, you know, scientific things. We never knew this before. There's less death because they're teaching us how to, you know, heal this ailment or that ailment. They were actually teaching them, they were civilizing them. They were teaching them methods, okay? Because the clergy were the ones that had the opportunity to learn these things, okay? That's why the church is the one that civilized the world. Church, clergy, okay? So that's how the faith spread. When they realized these guys are really doing good. They're not after our money, they're not after our women, they're not after power. They're teaching us kindness, they're teaching us these things that help us, you know, build our community. That's how the faith spread. Okay? Look at books, look at history. You have old movies still about, you know, how all these things came about in the missionaries.
Okay, so you mentioned how the Catholic Church civilized the whole world.
Yes.
Why are there still parts of the world where people don't have access to clean drinking water or education or basic necessities that we have?
Yeah, they haven't been reached, period. That gives us a message, right? It's given us a message. We should go. We should
We
go.
also have corrupt governments.
Yeah. And they are victims of their, you're right, power. Victims of their own governmental leaders. I told you before, why are there still starving children in India and Africa and all these places? India exports rice when they have children dying in their fields. The bottom line. These are victims of their own leaders. There is more distribution, you know, it used to be, right? California could feed the whole world for about a year or so, just California. Because of the production of food and how much it's produced. But there's an inequality of distribution because of the bottom line. You know, and obviously governmental policies and all these things, okay? So people, their own people are victimized. How about those people being killed by their own leaders?
Think about it even too, how many are old enough to remember the eighties and that Live Aids where the We Are the World stuff?
Yeah.
Remember that?
We're too young,
We're too young, but maybe some.
You saw a video on it, right?
Yeah, I saw.
I know what you're talking about.
They got all this food and it rotted. Not because.
They are rotten, you're
Because of the
right.
government. Another thing too, is there's an interesting book, you wanna talk about the missionaries here. There's a book that documents about all the martyrs in Florida. About all the missionaries that preached that were killed by the indigenous tribes over there trying to spread the word. So there was a lot of martyrs over here too, so there was a lot of martyr blood spilled in our soils back in those days.
This is in history, okay? I mean, you don't have to take my word for it or raise our ads. This is in history. Read about it. Be careful though, don't read revisionist history because then they won't even mention the Catholic Church. But you read authentic records, and there's plenty, okay? There are plenty of records, and you will not be able to deny the facts then. We are still here, we're still missionaries, you know? Oh, I'm talking about the U.S. The U.S. alone, the most generous country in the world is the United States, okay? You can't deny that. You know, we help out wherever we can. We help out even when we're not wanted, right? We help them too. And anyways, let's take a break. So I'm going to take a break. Before we do that, the new faces, and I put you on the spot. You have to stand up, tell us a little bit about yourself, just very briefly, just something that you want us to know about yourself.
Here are just 12-step programs kind of like that.
Except give us your last name.
Yeah.
I'm Jessica Makita, and I am happy to be here.
Hi.
Jessica.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm Tony. I'm here with Jessica, and I go to this parish.
Okay.
How about you guys?
Hey.
You're that guy too?
Okay. Okay, you can think about for them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, let's have a break. There's coffee there. Get all the food, the blessings on that table, please.